Hi guys, going to be reading chapter 2 of Mattie today. In chapter 1 we learn our narrator is Ali-Rose and she lives with the Cullens. We learn that the Cullens now live in England because of too much Cullen hype in America. So in this world, Bella wrote Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse and Breaking Dawn as to preserve her human memories and published them under Stephanie Meyer. We know that Ali-Rose is part werewolf, vampire and a human, and that she's a mix of all three. And so far that's all you need to know. So before I do that, I have with me a copy of Playing with Reality. So this is what it looks like. Check it out on Amazon. Cool. Okay, here we go. 2. Normality. School dragged on, as usual. It was a Wednesday, so it could have been worse. My day started off with drama, a subject which I had an aversion to. We got into groups and started our role plays. As usual, I chose the quietest part, but helped direct. I laughed silently to myself as two of my best friends, Alison and Harriet, began to argue. It was the same every week. I gazed around the room half-heartedly. Everyone in this room could expect to live at least another 60 years. I felt slightly jealous as I swept the room for a sec. Let me start that sentence again. I felt slightly jealous as I swept the room for a second time. All of these people had a future, something to look forward to. Wealth, fame, a family. I wasn't even sure if I was going to make it to the end of the year. My body was strange. It really interested Carlisle. Because I'm a new type of being, no one knows if I'll make it to adulthood. I personally don't think I will. I'm very pessimistic. My sight was getting worse. I tried to pick out things about my classmates that were at the opposite side of the room. Things that people like Alice would see easily. Something that Alison or Harriet would never notice. But I couldn't find anything. It was ridiculous to think that a year ago I could see everything. This new human sight was like being blindfolded. I sighed, pulling myself back to the drama studio. Our role play was a success, which put all of my friends in high spirits for our next lesson, music. Music was okay. I always enjoyed listening to my friends play. It was a little boring though. I blame this on Edward. When Edward played his piano, I always gazed at him in admiration. I could listen for hours, and often did. His compositions were always so beautiful, whereas my friends always played the latest hit or an old pop favourite. I shuddered at the thought. I stared out of the window aimlessly. Only 5 hours to go. Eventually, it was lunchtime. I never knew what to think about lunch. I had to eat. It was essential that I ate 3 meals a day, according to Carlisle. It didn't matter what Esme made me for lunch. It made absolutely no difference. I despised human food. Ugh. I couldn't think of anything more repulsive. There was only one way that I could eat my lunch and not be sick, and that was to eat as fast as I possibly could. I just about got the hang of it, but it was really hard, especially when I drank water to get rid of the taste. Water is sickening. My friends don't usually notice my discomfort. They're mostly too wrapped up in their own little worlds. I'm so relieved that they never notice. How would I ever explain myself? After the horror of eating, we all got up to play with a ball. This was standard practice. I always enjoyed playing ball. My coordination hadn't faded yet, so I always caught the ball, much to the aggravation of the boys. We carried on playing ball until we had to go in. I was always downhearted at the end of lunch. Next, I had English. I liked English, mainly because I loved to read. It was my passion in life. Once we were on task, my friend Harriet turned to speak to me. I knew she'd been wanting to all day, and now that we were alone, she could. Once she opened her mouth, the words immediately started flowing. It was something to do with her family. Her mum had just introduced new rules. She didn't agree with them. I just sat there listening to the sound of her voice. I found human problems rather amusing, but I never showed it. What she said next took me off guard. Hey, what rules do you have in your house? I struggled to reply. I never knew what to tell people when they asked about my family life. I mean, do you have a certain time when you have to go to bed? A huge sigh of relief escaped my lips. Yeah, 9:30, it sucks. I was comfortable now. I'm a terrible liar, and it's so much easier telling the truth. Really, 9:30? She seemed astonished. You seem to have it worse than me. Tell me about it. What other rules do you have? Maybe I can convince my mum that your rules are better. Well, I kept my cool. I decided sticking to the truth would be easiest. I'm not allowed to leave the house unless someone is with me, or they know exactly where I'm going and how long I'll be. Yeah, same with me, but that's not what's annoying me though. I think Mum's scared of leaving me alone. Sometimes she'll just walk in and ask me if I'm okay. She's worried about something, but I haven't a clue what it is. Why can't she just leave me alone? I'm not young anymore. I just want to be left alone. Harriet tried to pull herself together. It was clear that she had been holding it in for a while. Ali? Yeah? I was surprised by the shortening of my already shortened name. Can you possibly understand where I'm coming from? Can you relate to me at all? Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And she'd never know how much I understood. She had just described my life. I didn't know humans could have the same problems. Can you come over tonight? I want to show you that new program I taped. It's hilarious. I was amazed by how quickly she could go from subject to subject. I don't know, I'll have to ask. Okay, ring your mum. Or is it your dad? Who looks after you? I can't believe I've known you for a year and I don't even know who you live with. She paused. I waited, not breathing. Oh my God, I've just realised I don't know anything about you. Not your birthday, nothing. What was I going to tell her? This was definitely out of my comfort zone. I'm not even sure Carlisle will be able to sort out this mess. I was contemplating whether or not to excuse myself from the lesson when a loud voice came from over our shoulders. Harriet, what are you shouting about? Get back to work. Harriet quickly began scribbling down notes. You too, Ali-Rose. I sighed and got back to work. That was close. Too close. I was going to have to come up with some sort of story in case that ever happened again. There you go. That was chapter 2. Next time, chapter 3.